And welcome everyone to a beautiful autumn day here in Derry, New Hampshire. We're coming to you from Memorial Field, home of the Pinkerton Academy Astros, where the Brockton Boxers make the trip to New Hampshire to take on the Pinkerton Academy Astros. Brockton comes into this game with an undefeated record of 8-0, and the Pinkerton Academy Astros, the home team, coming here with a record of 8-1. This game is as capable of being an all-out war between two of New England's top high school football teams as it is being an exhibition game, as the Pinkerton Academy Astros have already secured themselves the top seed in the New Hampshire Interscholastic Athletic Association playoffs, and the Brockton Boxers just need to defeat division rivals New Bedford next week to secure themselves a spot in the MIAA playoffs, most likely the top seed if all goes as it's been going. And we're ready to get the kickoff now. Paul Bronco with the kickoff for Brockton. This one is going to be taken by number 12, Peter Mazzola, for Pinkerton Academy, and he's down shortly after he receives the block. So that was number 3, Steve Boyle. Peter Mazzola was down there as well, but he allowed Boyle to take the return. Even though this game is relatively meaningless in terms of the playoff picture, this game is a matter of pride for both teams. Brockton surely does not want to end their undefeated record this season, and I can quote assistant coach Bob O'Neill as saying, "Hey, this game is on our schedule, we want to win." Surely this is a good test for the Brockton Boxers before they take on fellow Big 3 team New Bedford next week and their Turkey Day rivals Waltham on Thanksgiving morning. First play of the game for the Pinkerton Academy offense. This one's taken by number 38, John Sugru. He rumbles for a few yards, bringing up a second down situation. On the other side of the coin, Pinkerton would love to put a blemish on the smooth, undefeated record the Beast from the Bay State, that is Brockton, have coming into this game. This game is top-ranked team versus top-ranked team, state versus state, and well, it's the Brockton Boxers versus Pinkerton Academy Astros right here on BCA Sports. Second down for Pinkerton Academy. This one's given to Steve Boyle. Boyle rumbles. He's close to a first down. Don't think he quite has it. This will bring up a third down situation, I believe. No, they're going to be moving the sticks. He did get it. First down for Pinkerton Academy. And though Pinkerton Academy does have one loss on their record this season, that loss came in a very close game in overtime earlier this season against Nashua South. And if you recall, Brockton has had two close encounters with teams in overtime thus far this season. They've just managed to edge by. And that was Brian Farris with the quarterback keeper for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. Didn't get far. No gain. So they'll bring up a 2nd and 10 situation for Pinkerton Academy. Both these teams have momentum coming into this game. The Pinkerton Academy Astros trounced Memorial High 49-6 last weekend. Brockton defeated Leominster 51-21, shutting out Leominster in the second half 30-0. Pinkerton Academy gives this one over to Boyle, and he might have gotten a yard on that one, but not much. Third down situation for the Astros. Taking a quick glance at the Boxers sideline, this defense is hurting a little bit as they are without some key players, including Gary Pierre-Jean, Johan Lewis-Jean, and Anthony St. Previc. So Brockton Boxers defense is definitely beat up and hurting, and without some of their normal starters. However, they have the opportunity to stop Pinkerton Academy right now. Farris is going to try to on the keeper, almost sacked, and he is taken down eventually. Is the ball loose, or did they blow the whistle? And was not a fumble after all. The whistle was blown, but lost in the play regardless. 4th and 15. Pinkerton Academy will be forced to punt. Handling the punting duties will be man who also handles the quarterback duties. That's Brian Farris, and back to receive for Brockton, Corey Brown and Nate Fallon. This one looks like Brockton is going to allow it to go. Takes a slight Astro bounce, and Brockton will take over on their own 42-yard line. 8 minutes and 56 seconds left in the first quarter as Brockton takes charge of things here. One thing to make note of is that since Brockton is playing in New Hampshire, opposed to their normal games being played in Massachusetts, there are some slight rule changes. For instance, they'll be playing 12-minute quarters rather than 11-minute quarters, and for the offensive linemen, there'll be no blocking below the waist. I formation for Brockton. Resende hands the ball off to Junior Penn. Penn rumbles for maybe a yard, doesn't get much. So 2nd and 9 situation for the Brockton Boxers. Once again, my name is Peter Zimmer. I'll be your lone play caller for this game between the Brockton Boxers and Pinkerton Academy Astros right here on Brockton Community Access. I formation for Brockton, 2 men at the top of your screen. Resende back, looks like he will pass. He's looking, it looks like he's looking for Thelen. Pass behind Thelen, he reached his hand out, but he was too far ahead, and that pass is incomplete. 3rd and 9 situation now for Brockton. This Brockton Boxer Pinkerton Academy Astro game each year has become a very much anticipated event, as not too often you get to see two powerhouse football teams from 2 different states play each other, and Brockton and Pinkerton each have great programs year in and year out. Resende back to pass, he's in trouble. He looking for Thelen. Good defensive play by number 51 for Pinkerton Academy as Chris Yohern breaks the pass up, bringing up a 4th down for Brockton. So much like Brian Farris, quarterback for Pinkerton Academy, also handles the punting duties. Brockton the same way, as Jesse Resende, quarterback, will be handling the punting duties. As 2 series thus far, 2 punts. As this has been a defensive duel thus far, Boyle on the return, he picks up probably about 5 yards as Pinkerton Academy will take over. Seven minutes and 56 seconds left in the first quarter. Pinkerton Academy back with the ball. They'll start out on their own 15-yard line. Beautiful November day here in Derry, New Hampshire. Great football weather. 1 man in the backfield, man in motion. They're gonna hand this one off to big number 38. That is John Sugru, and he picks up a 1st down and more. And John Sugru is nothing the Brockton Boxers want to mess with. In Pinkerton Academy's 21-7 win over Nashua North a few weeks ago, he had 227 rushing yards. So this kid is no joke, ladies and gentlemen, as he picks up a 1st down for the Astros. No wideouts for Pinkerton Academy. They fake the Suru, give it to Boyle. Boyle looks like he will pick up another Pinkerton 1st down. So Pinkerton Academy moving the chains here once again against the Brockton Boxers, and this offense is moving the ball very efficiently. And as I mentioned a little early on, this Boxer defense is without some of their starters. 1st and 10 situation yet again. Same play, this time to the different side. Once again to Boyle, and Boyle's not going to get as far as he did last time. He stopped after about maybe a yard gain. So once again, Pinkerton faked the handoff to Suru and handed it off to Boyle. This time going to their right side rather than their left. Didn't work as well. 2nd and 9 situation for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. They've got the ball on the Boxer 44-yard line. Farris back to pass. He's looking for Boyle, overthrown. Third and 9 situation for Pinkerton. Not much of a breeze, no wind whatsoever here in Derry, New Hampshire on this Saturday afternoon. So one would think that we're bound to see more passing than you normally would in high school football today. Boyle in motion, 2 wideouts at the top of your screen. Farris once again, back to pass. He's got a man, and that was intended for number 20, Steve Gilherm. He was wide open. However, the pass was slightly short. Actually, that was Mike Keenan, the tight end. And Farris's pass was just short, bringing up a 4th down. Farris will be forced to punt once again. This one will be taken by Corey Brown on the fair catch. And Brockton will take over from their own 12-yard line here at Memorial Field, Derry, New Hampshire, home of the Pinkerton Academy Astros. One thing that's of interesting note for the Pinkerton Academy Astros is most of the players have their names on the back of their jerseys, which is rare for high school sports, but that's a tradition they've kept going throughout the years. I formation for the Boxers. Resende, looks like he ran into one of his own backs, and that causes a loss. Be about 2nd and 12 now. 2-yard loss in the play for the Boxers. Purely defensive game thus far. 3 series between the two teams, all resulting in a punt. Resende pitches this one out to Junior Penn. Penn to the outside and not going to get very far. He gained a few yards, got back to the original line of scrimmage in a little bit more. 3rd down situation and 9 for the Brockton Boxers. And Resende on the keeper. Brief burst of energy for Resende. Breaks it up for about maybe 5-6 yards. Bringing up a 4th down and about 2 for Brockton. It appears that Brockton's punting unit is coming out onto the field once again as Resende stays because aside from playing quarterback, he is the punter. Resende's punt, not very high, a little bit of a wobbler. Takes a slight Brockton bounce. Boyle on the return. He's not going to get very far as he's taken down by a slew of Brockton defenders, including Ryan Doherty and Lois Jacobs. So another 1st and 10 situation for the Pinkerton Academy Astros as they get the ball back. They have the ball on their own 35-yard line. This one given to Boyle. Boyle goes up for maybe a yard. He's taken down hard by Johnny Ray Barnes. You get a little bit, few more yards than I originally thought after they spot the ball. About 3 yards gained on that play. This one given to Boyle once again. once again takes it up, and he's taken down once again by Johnny Ray Barnes. Johnny Ray Barnes letting Steve Boyle know his presence early on in this game here in Derry, New Hampshire. 3:54 and counting left to go in the first quarter. Game still scoreless, purely defensive thus far. Brian Farris and company are hoping that Pinkerton can put a change to that on this series. Farris, back to pass. He's looking, and you could clear as day see that was going to be intercepted almost immediately after the ball left his hands. Number 22 for the Brockton Boxers, James Brown, steps in the way, as Farris really did throw into traffic. And James Brown for Brockton on the pick. And he says, "I feel good," as the soul singer James Brown would. So break for the Boxers. They will get possession of the ball inside Pinkerton Academy territory. This one is on the Pinkerton Academy 47-yard line. One man in the backfield for Brockton, two wideouts, one to the top of your screen, one to the bottom, man in motion. That's Corey Brown. And Resende pitches out to Corey Brown. Brown bobbles it slightly, and he's taken out of bounds. Flag right after the pitch, and Corey Brown was run to the outside. The referee threw a flag, and it is going to be a hold on Brockton. So this will bring first and 20 for the Brockton Boxers. Tough penalty for Brockton, as the yellow flags have been really hurting the Boxers' chances of annihilating some teams that they should have just destroyed early on in the season. Pinkerton Academy is certainly not one of those teams that you'd expect Brockton to roll over. We're expecting a good game here, but Brockton, once again, beating themselves here. And Jesse Resende unable to get anything off on that play, as big number 79 for Pinkerton Academy, Jason Lane, right in his face, he takes him down. Big loss for Brockton, bringing up a 2nd and 22 situation. Resende working out of the shotgun. Bad snap. Resende is going to take it on his own. He's going to run the ball. He gets maybe 7-8 yards. Not nearly enough because of that big 10-yard penalty. And this is going to bring up a 3rd down situation for Brockton. So 3rd and 18 for Brockton. In times like this, you'd expect Jesse Resende to go for a pass. However, he's been known to keep the ball himself and run for it. He's back, he's looking, he's got Nate Thelen wide open, and Thelen unable to accept the pass. He tried to dive on the ball and act as if he got it, but the referee was right there. So Nate Thelen pulling no shenanigans there. 4th down situation for Brockton. And the Boxers will once again have to punt. Resende's punt will be taken, will not be taken by Boyle. He was thinking about it. It's going to take a Brockton bounce, and Brockton will down it inside the 5-yard line. So Pinkerton Academy will not start off with a very good field possession, and that's exactly the way Brockton likes it. 1 minute, 29 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter. Your score 0-0 between the Brockton Boxers and the Pinkerton Academy Astros. We've got ourselves a defensive duel, as on each and every series, either team has been forced to punt aside from a James Brown interception off of a Brian Farris pass. First down for Pinkerton Academy. Have the ball on their 5-yard line. Ball given to Sagru. And he manages to pick up 2-3 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 7 situation.
Early on in this first quarter, stage was kind of set. Both teams playing good defense. On the clock, we have left to go in the first quarter. No score on the board. The Astros with the ball, 2nd down and 7.
Farris back to pass. He's looking, intercepted by Corey Brown for Brockton. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, this is a defensive duel. Very fittingly, the first score of the game is a defensive play. Corey Brown on the interception for Brockton. He brings it into the end zone. So Brockton draws first blood here in Derry, New Hampshire, with a Corey Brown interception return for a touchdown. And that is Farris' 2nd interception of the game. And the few times he's passed during this game, maybe 3-4 times, he's often thrown into traffic. So if Pinkerton Academy plans on going to the air a little bit today, they might have to talk to Brian Farris about that. Paul Bronco will attempt the extra point for Brockton. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 45.9 seconds left in the first quarter, Brockton is on top 7-0, thanks to a Corey Brown interception return for a touchdown and a Paul Bronco extra point. Once again, you're watching Brockton Community Access Sports. My name's Peter Zimbor. We're coming to you from Memorial Field in Derry, New Hampshire, home of the Pinkerton Academy Astros, where the crowd is left silent here, thanks to a Corey Brown interception for a touchdown. And as I mentioned at the top of this broadcast, this game, without a doubt, is a good test for Brockton before they take on the New Bedford Whalers next week in a divisional matchup, because if Brockton wins that game, they're going to the playoffs. And one win in the playoffs sends you to the Super Bowl, and Brockton would love to repeat what they did last year and win back-to-back Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association Division I Super Bowls. Bronco on the kickoff for Brockton. Beautiful kick. This one is initially taking by number 12 for Pinkerton Academy. He dishes it off to Steve Boyle. That was Peter Mazzola originally on the return. Pass it back to Boyle. They did that in the first return of the game as well. Kind of confused me a little bit early on in the game. So 1st and 10 situation for Pinkerton. They will have the ball on their own 20-yard line. Farris hands the ball to Suru. He rumbles up the middle for about a gain of 6 yards. Kenny Velez for Brockton, number 58, eventually takes him down. The clock is running out here in the first quarter. Time may expire by time Pinkerton gets up to the line. Maybe not. 2nd and 2 situation. And Farris gives the ball to Suru. He rumbles up. He's got the first down as we come to the end of the first quarter. So at the end of one, it's Brockton 7, Pinkerton 0. Brockton's lone touchdown, the game's lone touchdown, coming off of a Corey Brown interception off of a Brian Farris pass returned for a touchdown. And as the only points from this game come off of a defensive play, game's been pretty much all defense the entire game. In fact, aside from that Corey Brown interception for a touchdown, and another interception by Brockton's James Brown, every series for both teams has ended on a punt. But Brockton definitely getting the better end of the stick at the moment as they're up 7-0. Brockton and Pinkerton Academy definitely have good rivalry going amongst the two teams. As every other year, the Brockton Boxers travel up here to Derry, New Hampshire to take on the Pinkerton Academy Astros, and vice versa every other year. The Pinkerton Academy Astros travel to Brockton to take on the Brockton Boxers. And this interstate matchup between Pinkerton and Brockton has proved to be some of the most exciting games in Division I high school football throughout the years. So Pinkerton will start off the second quarter from their own 35-yard line. Man in motion, Farris hands the ball off to Suru. He rumbles up for 2-3 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 7 situation for Pinkerton. Pinkerton Academy definitely has 2 threats on the ground. Those players being number 38, John Suru, and number 3, Steve Boyle. Steve Boyle, more of the finesse Barry Sanders style running back. Suru, more of the Terrell Davis, I'll run into you and knock you over style running back. Farris back to pass once again for Pinkerton. And this one intended for number 30, Mike Keenan. And as he was reaching up for the pass, 2 Brockton defenders came in and sandwiched him, and he was slow getting up. Good defensive play by Brockton, and thankfully for Pinkerton, Mike Keenan is okay. Third and 7 situation for the Astros. And Keenan will be taking a breather for at least a play as he goes over the sidelines. So maybe he's not as okay as I thought he was. Probably just shaken up a little bit. 3rd and 7 for Pinkerton. Farris back to pass. Flags fly, whistles are blown. Play is stopped. And call offsides on Pinkerton, so that will move Pinkerton back 5 yards. So 3rd and 12 situation for the Astros. You know, I have to admit, when Brian Farris first attempted that pass to Mike Keenan 2 plays ago, my first instinct was it was going to be intercepted, but luckily for him it wasn't. This time he dishes it out to Suru. Short pass, and he is cracked. But to his credit, after that initial pop, he was still on his feet. Suru hit hard, and he gets off the ground wobbling a little bit, but he's okay. As everyone in the crowd could hear the smashing together of shoulder pads. But to Suru's credit, he was still up. 4th down situation for Pinkerton Academy. Punt by Farris, taken by Fallon. Fallon perhaps should have Fair catch, that one. Takes it, and it's taken out of bounds at about the Brockton 24-yard line. .38 left on the clock. First and 10 situation for Brockton. They have the ball from their own 24-yard line, I formation, 2 wide receivers, one to the bottom of your screen, one to the top of your screen. Resende hands the ball off to Junior Penn. Junior Penn rumbles up the middle for a short gain. And one thing that I find very interesting here is each and every cheerleader for the Pinkerton Academy Astros just did a backflip simultaneously. And I don't know where you find 15 teenagers that can do a backflip simultaneously, but that's pretty impressive. 10:07 left on the clock. I formation for Brockton. Once again, 2 wideouts, one to the bottom of your screen, one to the top of your screen. Resende gives the ball to Johnny Ray Barnes. He takes up the middle, much like Junior Penn does. Doesn't get very far. Gain of 1 on the play. 3rd and 7 for Brockton now. Another thing the cheerleaders did prior to the game as a bit of a taunt to Brockton, as the Pinkerton Academy Astro players were running onto the field through that, I guess you call it a banner they break open. It said "Beat the Boxers," and it had boxer shorts on it, referring to the Brockton Boxers as nothing more than underwear. Jesse Resende, big play. He's getting by many defenders. He could go all the way to the 30, 20, 15, 10. He's gone. Jesse Resende, touchdown Brockton. Beautiful run by Jesse Resende for Brockton. Throughout the season, we've touched upon the fact that he often has more rushing yards in the game than he does passing yards. And you can see why there. He does usually get about 2 or 3 of those big runs per game. And that big run resulting in a touchdown for Brockton, putting it up 13-0. Could be 14-0 momentarily as Paul Bronco steps onto the field to attempt an extra point. And the point after is up, and it's good. So at 9:13 left to play here in the first half, Brockton is on top of the Pinkerton Academy Astros by 2 touchdowns. 14-0 is your score here from Memorial Field in Derry, New Hampshire. So Brockton finally gets some offense going as Jesse Resende, long run for a touchdown. It'll now be up to Brian Farris and company for Pinkerton Academy to bounce back and retaliate. But the Pinkerton Academy offense has yet to really get things rolling thus far. Now, as I was mentioning, right before Jesse Resende went for to run the ball, which would ultimately end up in the end zone, Pinkerton Academy cheerleaders taunting Brockton earlier in the game by referring to them, name the Boxers as nothing more than boxer shorts underwear. And sticks and stones may break Brockton's bones, but names evidently did not hurt them as they're up 14-0 at the moment. Broncos kick, nice kick, going to be taken inside the 5-yard line by Boyle. He bobbles the ball, picks it up, and he's down inside the 10. And flag flies after Boyle is down. We'll see what the call on that one is. And it is a face mask call against the Boxers. So Pinkerton Academy starts things off on their own 14, thanks to a Brockton face mask. This one's given to Boyle. Excuse me, Suru. Rummels up for about a 5-yard gain. We'll call that one 6 yards. 2nd and 4 situation for the Astros. Ferris hands the ball off to Boyle. Boyle takes it to the outside, and he's going to be taken down around the line of scrimmage, bringing up a 3rd and 4 situation for Pinkerton Academy.
Mohammed's foot to the near side of the field.
7:56 left in the first half. Whistles are blown right before Pinkerton Academy goes to take the snap, as they call a timeout. So it's 7 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in the first half. The Brockton Boxers are on top 14-0 over the Pinkerton Academy Astros. The Boxers' 2 touchdowns coming as a result of a Corey Brown interception in the first quarter that he ran in for a touchdown. And just a few minutes ago, Jesse Resene on a big 50-plus yard run into the end zone. Add on the 2 Paul Bronco extra points, and you've got Brockton on top 14-0 here in Derry, New Hampshire. The only game Pinkerton Academy has lost this season was a 13-7 overtime defeat against Nashua South, and Nashua South was undefeated coming into that game. Every other game they've won, and taking a look at the scores of their games, just running down 47-6, 28-7, 41-9, 49-6. This Pinkerton Academy Astros offense is a very high-scoring squad. They just really have not gotten anything rolling thus far in this game. 3rd and 4 for the Astros. Split formation in the backfield, and flags fly as number 7 for Pinkerton Academy, Juan Amador, the wide receiver, seemed to jump a little bit early. And that's a good thing for Brockton, as that was a key. This is still a key 3rd down play for the Astros. Now a key 3rd and 9 play for the Astros. Farris back to pass. He's got a man, once again intercepted by Corey Brown. That's his 2nd interception of the game, and his 2nd interception returned for a touchdown in the game. Corey Brown is making his presence known defensively, as Brian Farris throws his 3rd interception, his 2nd interception thrown to Corey Brown, his 2nd interception thrown to Corey Brown for a touchdown. Brockton really running away with things here in the 2nd quarter, as they're now up 20-0 with 7:44 left to go. Paul Bronco steps onto the field for the extra point, and we've got another offsides on Pinkerton Academy. It looked like number 11, Jake White, jumped. And penalties seem to be hurting Pinkerton Academy. That particular penalty won't hurt because it's a chip shot for Paul Bronco anyways on the extra point. But if you go back to that third down situation, there was a 3rd and 4 situation for Pinkerton Academy. Juan Amador jumped, making it 3rd and 9, forcing Brian Farris to have to pass on a 3rd and 9 situation. And he has not been too successful passing thus far, as he has 3 interceptions as Paul Bronco hits the extra point. 21-0 is your score. Brockton on top with 7 minutes and 44 seconds left to play in the first half. Once again, you're watching Brockton Community Access Sports, your home for Boxer Sports. When you take road trips like this one, as we here at BCA have done to Derry, New Hampshire, you don't always get the best of accommodations, as I'm not calling this game from a press box, I am out in the crowd, which causes people to look at me sometimes. Why is that man talking into a headset? Well, I assure them I'm on television. And they continue the dirty looks. I just say, hey, whatever. It happens. Paul Bronco steps onto the field for the kickoff. As 3 men in the backfield to receive for Pinkerton Academy, those 3 men being Gilherm, White, and Boyle. And number 12 for Pinkerton Academy, Peter Mazzola, initially got the ball, as he has for about 3 times on returns in this game. He often dishes them back to Boyle. However, he didn't get the opportunity to there as he bobbled the ball. And Brockton nearly recovered it, but he was able to get back on top of the ball before Brockton could do so. If that happened, Brockton could just really get themselves a comfort zone here in the first half.
7 minutes and 42 seconds left to go in the first half.
And the ball is given to Suru. And he rumbles up for, I'd say, 7-yard gain. Brian Suru. Lots of yards thus far in the game. No points, however. No points for the entire Pinkerton Academy Astro team, as they're down 21-0 at the moment. 2nd and 3 for Pinkerton. Farris gives the ball to Suru. Suru, little spin move. He gains a first down. So first down situation for Pinkerton Academy Astros. 3 men in the backfield. They give this one to Suru. Excuse me, they fake it to Suru. They faked me as well. Give it to Boyle. He takes it to the outside and does not get very far.
Water! Get your water here!
2nd and 9 situation for PA. Farris gives it over to Suru. Nate Thelen for Brockton was already well on his way up the line of scrimmage on the blitz before the play was being called, and that worked out for Brockton as it brings up 3rd and 8 for the Astros. So Ferris gives the ball to Boyle. Boyle rumbles, but he falls short of the first down as he was going down. His knee went down just 2 yards prior before he hit that first down marker. So we'll see what Pinkerton Academy opts to do here on this 4th and 1 situation. Scoreboard reads 4th and 8th. That's not true, however. Now they change it. And they will go for it. 2 men in the backfield. Ferris gives the ball to Suru. He rumbles, he's got the first down. Much to the ovation of this Pinkerton Academy Astros audience here in Derry, New Hampshire. And Ferris once again gives to Suru, and he just likes to go up the middle, and it's very successful for him. That's a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 for Pinkerton Academy. Brockton will call a timeout with 4 minutes and 1 second left in the half. Brockton is on top 21-0 at the moment. And Pinkerton's got the ball at the 50-yard line. Once again, you're watching BCA Sports, your home of Super Bowl champion Brockton Boxers football. Though we've got a lot more football left to play here in Brockton, as Brockton has New Bedford coming up, and then they have their big Thanksgiving Day game on November 24th, Thanksgiving morning against Waltham. And then inevitably, well, not inevitably, they have to get through New Bedford first. Brockton should have the playoffs. However, we here at BCA Sports, we're also looking forward to some sports that season's coming up. Boxer basketball will get underway in December, as well as boxer hockey. So look forward to that here on BCA Sports, channels 9, 12, and 98. For more information, visit www.bcatv.org. 2nd and 5 situation for Pinkerton Academy. They have the ball on the 50-yard line. 3 men in the backfield. They give the ball to Suru. Suru starts to run up the middle, takes a little bit to the outside. He's got the first down and much more. It appears that Pinkerton Academy has got some momentum by consistently giving the ball to Suru. And I would think they would stick with that game plan throughout this series, because I would say he's gaining on average 7 to 8 yards a carry. In turn, they're moving the sticks and getting first downs. This one's given to Boyle. Boyle refusing to go down, as used one hand on the ground to crawl for a few extra yards before his knees touch the ground. 2nd and 5 for Pinkerton Academy. Two men in the backfield for Pinkerton. Split formation given to Suru, and Suru taken down by a slew of Brockton defenders. He's gang tackled, and he does not get very far. .240 left to play here in the first half. 3 men in the backfield once again for Pinkerton Academy. Hand the ball off to Suru once again. And good tackle by Johnny Ray Barnes as he got Suru right below the knee, or right on the knee rather, took him down rather quickly. You can tackle low here in New Hampshire. You can't block low, however, as one of the rules changes between the MIAA and the NHIAA is that there is no blocking below the waist. Does not affect Brockton's defenders, however. Fourth down situation for Pinkerton Academy. Once again, they opt to go for it. Suru takes it to the outside, and he's got it. So, Pinkerton Academy's got some momentum going for him, and within the final 2 minutes of this half, they're on the verge of putting some points on the board. They have the ball now at the Brockton 24, not quite in the red zone yet, but their running game is going very smoothly. Farris keeps the ball on that one. Not a very smart move as he is taken down by number 83, Joey G. Noel. Big 6'3", 200-pound defensive end. 2nd and 10 situation now for Pinkerton Academy. Still have the ball at their own 24-yard line.
Ball's on the 24-yard line, 2nd down and 10.
Farris gives the ball to Boyle, and he's taken down very quickly as number 38 for Brockton, Michael Murray, is right there. That's going to be a loss for Pinkerton Academy of about 5 yards. So Pinkerton Academy now has the ball on their own 29-yard line.
Spending a lot of time here. 40 seconds left to go in the half.
3rd and 15. Farris back to pass. Tries to get to Boyle. Goes through his hands and out. And incomplete. And that one went right through Boyle's hands and was in danger of being intercepted once again by a Brockton defender as Kenil Velez, number 58 for Brockton, was right there. Less than 30 seconds to play here in the first half. And it is a 4th down situation. 4th and 15. And Brian Farris will be working out of the shotgun. Harris back to pass. He's looking. He's got number 7, Ron Amador, in the end zone. 29-yard touchdown pass by Brian Farris. And that brings the Pinkerton Academy crowd to its feet. It also brings them jumping up and down on the bleachers, resulting in our camera looking a little bit shaky, but it's just their excitement, ladies and gentlemen. Brockton on top 21-6 at the moment. Brian Farris will be attempting the extra point as he pulls double duty, actually triple duty, plays quarterback, defensive back, and kicker. And his extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So at 24.6 seconds left to play in the first half. The Brockton Boxers are now on top 21-14. Excuse me, 21-7. I don't know why I said 14. I was giving Pinkerton Academy an extra touchdown. Don't know why I was doing that, but Brian Farris hits Juan Amador in the end zone for a 29-yard touchdown pass with less than 30 seconds left to play in the first half. And that's definitely a good thing for Pinkerton Academy, as you don't want to go into the locker room at halftime scoreless. Once again, you're watching Brockton Community Access Sports. We're coming to you from Derry, New Hampshire at Memorial Field, home of the Pinkerton Academy Astros. My name's Peter Zimbo. I am your lone play caller this week, as some of our other normal commentators, such as Brian Madden and Miles Jackson, unable to make the trip to New Hampshire. But I'm sure they're at home right now watching this. And I would like to send my regards to them as they watch. Farris with a beautiful, beautiful kick. This one's going to be taken by Corey Brown. Initially touched by number 5, Jason Margison, but he couldn't keep the ball, and Brown keeps it and doesn't get very far. So we've got a little bit of a hold up here. Legal participation called on Pinkerton Academy. Or just a timeout, rather. That's why you should not listen to the Pinkerton Academy Astros. They give you wrong information. So it's 16.8 seconds left to play in the first half. Brockton still up 21-7, not 21-14, as I said moments ago. I was wrong. Brockton's 3 touchdowns, 2 of them coming off Corey Brown interceptions returned for a TD, and 1 coming off a big run by Jesse Resende on the quarterback keeper. The lone touchdown for Pinkerton Academy coming off a Brian Farris to Juan Amador. 29-yard touchdown reception just moments ago. And we've got ourselves a whistle as Brockton calls a timeout. So with 16.8 seconds left, Jesse Resende goes over to the sidelines to talk things over with Peter and Armin Colombo. Junior Penn also stepping into the game. Don't know what Brockton's got up his sleeve right now. They could just kneel it and go into halftime with the 14-point lead. However, with Junior Penn stepping into the game, that may not be the case. So I formation for Brockton. Jesse Resende back to pass. He's gonna have to run it on his own though. He picks up a first down, goes up and over a Pinkerton Academy defender. Clock stops with 7.1 seconds left. As I would think Brockton will go for another Hail Mary. They attempted to go for a Hail Mary there. Jesse Resende forced to run the ball himself, and Jake White eventually took him down. Resende back to pass. He gives it over, tries to throw it over to Junior Penn, but incomplete. And that brings us to the close of the first half. So at halftime, Brockton is on top by 2 touchdowns. 21-7 is your score. Good game defensively for both teams, but especially Brockton, as they have 2 defensive touchdowns, both coming from Corey Brown interceptions returned for touchdowns. Brockton up top, 21-7 at the moment. Once again, you're watching Brockton Community Access Sports. My name's Peter Zimmer. We'll be back with you right after these messages from Derry, New Hampshire.
When Charles Bennett graduated from high school, he dreamed of returning to his old neighborhood as a teacher. But without the money for college, only half his dream came true. He's back in the old neighborhood. Please support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Hi, I'm Joe Perry.
And Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Never, never, never let someone you know get behind the wheel if they've been drinking. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
And welcome back to second half action between the Brockton Boxers and the Pinkerton Academy Astros. Coming out of halftime, the score is 21-7 in favor of your Brockton Boxers. Two of those touchdowns coming from Corey Brown interceptions that he returned back for touchdowns. The other coming from a Jesse Resende 50-yard plus touchdown run. That makes up Brockton's 21 points. The lone touchdown for the Pinkerton Academy Astros comes via a Brian Farris 29-yard touchdown pass to Juan Amador. He connected to him in the end zone for a touchdown. Ready to get things off for the second half. Farris, good kick. This one's going to be taken by his nemesis Corey Brown, who's picked him off twice in this game. Brown, decent run, gets it up to about the 22-yard line, and that's where Brockton will take over for the second half. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this game relatively meaningless to both teams in terms of the playoff picture. Both teams seem to have the number one seed in their respective state playoff systems. Pinkerton Academy is guaranteed the number one spot. Brockton will have the number one spot with a win over New Bedford next week. However, both these teams are coming to play, especially Brockton, as they're up by 2 touchdowns at the moment. Resende handed the ball off to Junior Penn. No gain, 2nd and 10 for the Boxers. Jesse Resende having a decent game. Having a better game rushing than he is passing. Though he hasn't passed that much, he did have that one 50-yard plus touchdown run early in the game, as he's been known to rely on the quarterback keeper, as Jesse Resende calls a timeout with 11:15 left to play in the third quarter. Jesse Resende over to the sidelines now, talking to head coach Peter Colombo and Armin Colombo, who is former head coach of the Brockton Boxers, now more or less an assistant as he helps out his son. And does make his way out to most of the Brockton Boxers games, so Armin Colombo likes to keep his hands wet as far as football is concerned. Second and 10 for Brockton. I formation, 2 wideouts to the bottom of your screen. Those wideouts are Corey Brown and Nate Thelen. Resende back to pass. He's in some trouble. He dishes it over, gives it over to Nate Thelen. Thelen gets by a few defenders. He's got a first down and much more. Big play for Brockton. Nate Thelen eventually was forced out of bounds, well into Pinkerton Academy territory. And Brockton will take over at the Pinkerton 43-yard line. Once again, I formation for Brockton. This time 2 wideouts, split to the bottom and top of your screen. Resende hands the ball off to a face we have not seen at this game. That's number 14, Jaron McNeil. McNeil getting his first touch of the game. Decent crowd the Brockton Boxers have brought with them here to Derry, New Hampshire, as the other side of the stadium that I am taking a look at, the Brockton Boxers side, about 70% of the stands are filled. Obviously, the stands are not as big over there as they are here on the home side for the Pinkerton Academy Astros, but Brockton faithful have come out. Once again, I formation for Brockton. Resende hands the ball off to McNeil. McNeil not going to get anything on that one. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 situation for the Brockton Boxers. Jaron McNeil getting a few carries early on here in the second half. McNeil, more of the Barry Sanders style running back for the Brockton Boxers, whereas number 44, Junior Penn, number 45, John Ray Barnes, tend to be Jerome Bettis bus style running backs for the Brockton Boxers. So McNeil adds some finesse to the running game for Brockton, though this time he's going to rumble straight ahead, and he's going to get nowhere. This is going to be a 4th and 1 situation, and I see Junior Penn coming into the game. If Brockton opts to go for it, I would think that he's the guy you'd want to run straight ahead with the ball, trying to pick up a first down. McNeil heads over to the sidelines. 9:16 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Brockton does opt to go for it. 4th and 1 situation. I formation, 2 wideouts, 1 to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Resende hands the ball off to Junior Penn, and Penn will pick up the first down and more. So Junior Penn helping Brockton move the chains. So Brockton has the ball on the Pinkerton Academy 26-yard line. I formation, 2 wideouts to the top of your screen. They hand the ball off to Jaron McNeil. McNeil, not a bad run. He probably gets about 7 yards. They'll spot it, a 6-yard gain, so 2nd and 4 for the Boxers. Resende gives it once again to McNeil. Peter Colombo really utilizing Jaron McNeil early on here in the second half. He's going to rumble up. Not quite a first down. Some people up in the press box were suspecting that he got it, and there's enough suspicious on the part of the refs that they will bring out the chains to measure, because he was close. And just short, they're going to call it. And they're going to make this a 3rd and 1 situation for Brockton. Third and 1 for the Boxers. Jesse Resende on the quarterback keeper, takes it straight ahead. He's got the first down. So if there is any rivalry between Massachusetts high school football and New Hampshire high school football in terms of who's the best in New England, Massachusetts is getting the better of New Hampshire at the moment. Still a lot of football to play, but Brockton on top 21-7, and they could score again as they are in the red zone. And Resende runs up the middle, and he gets the ball inside the 5. So Brockton threatening to score once again. So 2nd and 2 situation for Brockton on the Pinkerton Academy 4-yard line. They hand this one off to Jaron McNeil. McNeil's got room. He's in for the touchdown. Jaron McNeil on the 4-yard touchdown run for Brockton. That makes the score 27-7 with 6 minutes and 32 seconds left in the third quarter. Paul Bronco comes on the field to attempt the extra point. He's been successful on all 3 of his other extra point attempts early on in this game. And his 4th extra point attempt, no different. 28-7 is your score. Brockton on top over the Pinkerton Academy Astros at the moment with 6 minutes and 32 seconds left to play in the third quarter. So Brockton, if this game against Pinkerton is any test for Brockton going into their big divisional game against New Bedford next week, Brockton appears to be in good shape, as they are on top of the best high school football team in New Hampshire by 21 points at the moment. So Paul Bronco lining up for the kickoff for Brockton. Broncos kick, good kick, down, taken by number 20. That is Steve Gulherm. Big return for Gulherm. And for Pinkerton Academy, he's taken down hard and looks like he's a little bit hurt getting up. He appears to be okay, as number 11, Jake White, consoling his teammate. But Gulherm just went down a little bit hard, and he does appear to be favoring some body part, nonetheless, as he heads over to the sideline. However, in football terms, good run, 1st and 10 for Pinkerton Academy. They have the ball on Brockton's 39-yard line with 6 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And a timeout will be called by Pinkerton Academy. So 6:22 left to play in the third quarter. Brockton on top, 28-7. Interesting note coming out of halftime, and this is something I've noticed quite a bit when we make these trips from Brockton to Derry, New Hampshire here to see the Boxers take on Pinkerton Academy, is that year in, year out, the Pinkerton Academy Astros have a football player that also plays in the marching band. This year, no exception. Number 60, Mike Branley, aside from being an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman for the Astros, he also plays saxophone in the marching band. And he stands out quite a bit as he's out there in his shoulder pads and his football uniform, while the rest of the marching band is in their marching band outfit. Branley stands out quite a bit, but he's obviously someone who takes being an athlete serious and being a musician serious. But you cannot discount that he does not take being an athlete serious, because he was out there for the first song and then he rushed into the locker room and he did not participate in the second number that the Pinkerton Academy Marshall Band did. But He likes to get around. 1st and 10 situation for Pinkerton Academy. Ball on the Boxer 39-yard line. 3 men in the backfield. Some shifting on the defensive line for the Brockton Boxers. This one's going to be given to Suru for Pinkerton Academy, and he is toe tackled by number 45, Johnny Ray Barnes. And I would say, aside from Corey Brown, who's had the 2 interceptions that he returned back for touchdowns, Johnny Ray Barnes has been the biggest factor for Brockton on this defense, as he's been in on numerous tackles in which Mike Suru was the ball carrier. So Johnny Ray Barnes definitely letting Suru know of his presence. 5:47 left to go. 2nd and 9 for Pinkerton Academy. Ferris gives the ball to Suru. Suru takes it, 1st down and much more. First and 10 for the Astros. Ferris gives the ball to Suru, and he rumbles up. He was caught up in the mix, and people thought he was down, but he came out of the whole mess and close to a 1st down. This one brings up a 2nd and 3 situation for the Astros. Mike Suru having a good game on the ground. However, he's yet to score yet for Pinkerton Academy. Their lone touchdown coming off a Juan Amador touchdown reception with 30 seconds left to play towards the end of the 1st half. And Ferris with the quick pitch over to Boyle. Boyle picks up the 1st down. And Pinkerton Academy are threatening to score as they are inside the Boxer 15-yard line. The ball placed at the Boxer 13. 1st and 10 situation for Pinkerton Academy. They give it to Boyle. Boyle not able to get very far. In on the tackle for Brockton is number 87, Latrell Melton. 6'1", 210 senior from Brockton High. Second and 11 for the Astros. Ferris hands the ball off to Suru. Suru taking it to the outside, and he is taken down by number 84, Corey Brown, with a beautiful hit to the lower body of Suru, and Suru succumbs to that hit to the knee, and he goes down. Less than 3 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 11 for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. Ferris back to pass, and he is hit as he throws the ball, and it's incomplete. That hit was by number 66, Jonathan Rukas. So good defensive play by Rukas. 4th down situation for Pinkerton Academy. Now the question is, do they go for the touchdown or they go for a field goal? Now keep in mind, Brian Ferris hit a 42-yard field goal earlier this season in Pinkerton's defeat over Central High. And this is A 31-yard attempt. It is up and it is good. So Brian Ferris with a 31-yard field goal for Pinkerton Academy. That makes the score 28-10. Brockton still on top, but Pinkerton Academy cutting the deficit. And good stand by Brockton's defense, only allowing Pinkerton Academy to get 3 points rather than 6. And against most high school football teams, Pinkerton, the team going up against Brockton, wouldn't have scored any points on that particular drive. It just so happens that Pinkerton Academy has Brian Ferris, who not only is a good quarterback, but an excellent kicker as well. And he's having a better second half at quarterback than he did first half. He had 3 interceptions in the first half, 2 of them being returned back for touchdowns. But he's really yet to pass the ball too much here in the second half, so that could have something to do with it. The one passing attempt I can recall was just a few moments ago, and as he threw the ball, he was decked by Jonathan Rukas, and it was incomplete because he really didn't have too much power behind it. Ferris's kick is being returned by Corey Brown. Brown, with nice return, brings it up to about the 31-yard line. So with 2 minutes, 24 seconds left to go in the third, Jesse Resende and company will take over as the Brockton Boxers offense takes the field. I formation, Resende back to pass. He's looking for Thelen. He's got him, and it's off his numbers. Incomplete. I don't think any defender for Pinkerton Academy got a hand in there. However, number 3, Steve Boyle, and number 6, Braden Verge, were both within the vicinity of Nate Dillon that they perhaps could have obstructed his view. However, I think many people felt he should have caught that. 2nd and 10 situation for Brockton. 2:17 on the clock here in the third quarter. Man in motion for Brockton. I formation, 2 wideouts. Resende on the quarterback keeper. He's going to pick up the first down. And he's forced out of bounds by number 6, Braden Verge. First and 10 situation for the Boxers. I formation once again, man in motion. 2 wideouts. Resende hands the ball off. This time he gives it to Jaron McNeil. McNeil picks up the first down. He's still on his feet. He is not going down. Big gain by McNeil. First and 10 for Brockton. Resende gives the ball over to Aaron Richardson. Aaron Richardson, a running back whose name has not been called thus far in the game. That's his first touch of the game. He picked up a few yards. 2nd and 7 situation now for the Brockton Boxers. Brockton has the ball on Pinkerton Academy's 39-yard line. Two wideouts at the bottom of your screen. They give this one to McNeil. McNeil Gains a few yards, not much. 3rd and 7, really no gain on the play. Less than a minute left to go in the third quarter.
Well, looking for a pass here on 3rd and long. Brown to the near side.
Resende back to pass. He's looking, and it looked like there could have been some pass interference called on number 12, Peter Mazzola. However, the refs didn't see any, but it looked like Mazzola pushed off of Ryan Doherty. So this is a 4th and 7 situation for Brockton. They have the ball on the Pinkerton Academy 39-yard line. It will be interesting to see what the Boxers opt to do here. And they will be going for it. 4th and 7 situation for Brockton. 1 man in the backfield, 3 wideouts. Resende back to pass. We've got a flag thrown. He tries to throw it over to Nate Dallin. Flag thrown in the backfield, and that is going to be on Brockton. It's a holding call. And that penalty will smartly be declined by Pinkerton Academy, and they will take over on down. So, Pinkerton Academy takes the ball from the Brockton, from their own 39-yard line, excuse me. It'll be a 1st and 10 situation with 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Once again, you're watching BCA Sports. Watch Boxer football every Sunday night here on Channel 98. Also check channels 9 and 12 for more information. And www.bcatv.org. Hand off to Suru. He rumbles for about 4 or 5 yards. It may not be pretty, but he consistently gains yards with that power. So we have come to the end of the third quarter, and Brockton is on top 28-10. Scoring summary for the third quarter. Jared McNeil had a 4-yard touchdown run for Brockton early in the quarter. And Brian Ferris had a 31-yard field goal for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. So Brockton up by 18 points at the moment as we start the fourth quarter. So we begin the fourth quarter with a 2nd and 4 situation for the Pinkerton Academy Astros with the ball on their own 46. This one's given to Suru. Suru rumbles up. Looks like he's got the first down and more. You got to hand it to number 38, John Suru. Doesn't have any touchdowns on this game today. However, he is consistent in running the ball, just powering up the middle. And I would say by now he's well over 100 yards. John Suru having an excellent season in general for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. He has earned Pinkerton Academy Athlete of the Week award a few times throughout the season. Brian Ferris in trouble with the ball for Pinkerton Academy. He was looking for number 30, Mike Keenan. Nate Thelen there for Brockton to break that up. Looked like some people were looking to see if Ferris was throwing the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. However, the pass is incomplete nonetheless. That brings up a 2nd and 10 situation for the Astros. Boxers defense playing very efficient today, despite some injuries which have held some of the starters from playing in today's game. Nate Thelen in a few key defensive plays breaking up passes. Corey Brown with 2 interceptions returned back for touchdowns. As we see, pass to the outside by Brian Farris. Gets it over to number 20, Gulharm. However, pass for a loss brings up a 3rd and 11. So pass it behind the line of scrimmage, gets Pinkerton Academy nowhere. 3rd and 11 situation. Ball on the Brockton 49-yard line. And also talking about Brockton's defense, Johnny Ray Barnes in on numerous tackles today. He's having himself a great defensive game, which makes up for his lack of carries he's had rushing the ball on the other side of things. Timeout called by Pinkerton Academy as number 19, Brian Farris, goes over to talk to Pinkerton Academy's head coach, that being Brian O'Reilly. And as I've said throughout this game, if this right here is any test for Brockton, as they're the #1 team in Massachusetts playing the #1 team in New Hampshire and Pinkerton Academy, and Brockton is up at the moment by 18 points, 28-10. Brockton looks to be in good hands going against fellow divisional team New Bedford next week. Brian Farris works out of the shotgun, passes it, looking for number 7, intercepted by Brockton. That is Brian Farris's 4th interception of the day, as he was looking for number 7, Juan Amador. However, number 58, Keneal Velez, is right there to pick it off for the Boxers. And that just reiterates what I was saying about this Boxer defense having a phenomenal day despite some starters not playing due to injuries. Good play by Velez. Brockton now takes over at the Pinkerton 28, and they've got excellent field possession. 1st and 10 situation, I formation. Corey Brown lined up as a wideout on the far side. Resende keeps it. He's running. He's got a 1st down and much more, and Jesse Resende close to a 1st down, did not quite get it. Looks like he's probably at the 1-yard line, however. Jesse Resende with 1 rushing touchdown on the day, that coming in the first half. 50-yard plus rushing touchdown. Jesse Resende, a Michael Vick-style quarterback. He likes to scramble, as he was a running back coming up through the Brockton midget football program and didn't transition to being a quarterback until high school. Ball on the 1-yard line for Brockton, I formation. Resende on the keeper, rushes in, gets his 2nd rushing touchdown of the afternoon, and Brockton extends their lead to 34-10 with 10 minutes and 13 seconds left to play. And Brockton just doing a number on Pinkerton Academy, and this team is no slouch. They are the top-ranked team in Division I New Hampshire high school football, and they've already secured themselves the top seed in the NHIAA postseason. However, they came to play today, and Brockton is just showing them what they got. Paul Bronco's extra point is up, and it's good. So at 10:13 left to play, Brockton is on top, 35-10. And for the many people from Brockton, Massachusetts who made their way to Derry, New Hampshire today to see this battle of the Titans between Massachusetts high school football and New Hampshire high school football, Brockton fans getting their money's worth as they are seeing Brockton laying the smackdown, as some would say, on Pinkerton Academy, and vindicating their opinion that Brockton is one of the best high school football teams in this nation. Interesting fact, though the Brockton Boxers in recent years have only traveled as far as here, Derry, New Hampshire, to play teams. In the early 90s, they went as far as Maryland to find opponents, in the late 80s as well, as that is what many consider to be the heyday of Brockton High School football under the coaching of Armin Colombo. Brockton High was ranked #1 in the nation by USA Today. And Peter Colombo keeping the tradition alive for successful Brockton High football teams. He takes over for his father last season, brings Brockton a Super Bowl championship, and it looks like Brockton could be well on their way to doing that again this season. Kick return by Pinkerton Academy gets them to their own 19. That's where they'll take over. 1st and 10 situation. And Armin Colombo on the sidelines across from us, along with his son, head coach Peter Colombo. And they've got to be proud of their team's performance today. This is without a doubt the best we've seen Brockton High School all season. That's without a doubt saying something since they're undefeated. Hand off to Suru. Suru takes it, rumbles for about 5-6 yards before he's taken down by Velez. And the reason I say that this is the most impressive we've seen Brockton thus far this season is, though Brockton has blown out some teams a few times this season, I don't think any of them have been the quality of opposition that Brockton is playing today in the Pinkerton Academy Astros. And that's why this is a good sign for Brockton heading into next week's game against New Bedford, that a win over New Bedford would secure them a postseason spot. Suru on the carry once again. He's going to pick up the 1st down before he's taken out of bounds. And a win against New Bedford next week for Brockton would secure the Boxers a postseason spot. And then Brockton has Waltham on Thanksgiving morning, and then we head into the postseason. But first, Brockton has to get by Pinkerton Academy today, which it looks like they will. They're up 35-10, and by the New Bedford Whalers next week. Once again, you're watching Brockton Community Access Sports. 1st and 10 situation for Pinkerton Academy. Ball on their own 44-yard line, split formation, man in motion, hands the ball off to Suru. Suru takes it up, 1st down. Sean Suru, you got to hand it this kid. He's having a phenomenal day rushing. Probably well over 150 yards by now. The only problem is, for all those rushing yards, none of them have turned into points for Suru, as the lone touchdown for Pinkerton Academy came towards the end of the 1st half when Brian Farris connected to Juan Amador for a 29 touchdown pass that put them on the board going to halftime. Brian Farris kicked a 31-yard field goal at the beginning of this half, and that makes up Pinkerton Academy's 10 points. Golherm went to the outside there for Pinkerton Academy before finally being taken down. Second down situation for Pinkerton Academy. They have the ball at the Brockton 40. Two men in the backfield, split formation. Farris gives the ball to number 12, Peter Mazzola, and he doesn't get very far. Third down and 5 situation for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. Once again, split formation, man in motion. They hand the ball off to someone whose name has not been called yet this game. That's Mike Krupe, number 49 for Pinkerton Academy. So it seems with 7 minutes and 33 seconds left to play, Pinkerton Academy being down 35-10, they're letting some guys get in there that we haven't seen much of today, such as Mike Krupe. Mike Krupe is a youngster, only a sophomore. And they're letting them get some game time today against the Brockton Boxers. And why not? They're down 35-10. They do have the #1 seed in the playoffs in the New Hampshire Interscholastic Athletic Association postseason. So I think they more or less may be accepting defeat at this time. 2nd and 12 situation now as the Brockton Boxer defense hammering away at this second string of players that they have on the field for Pinkerton Academy. One thing to make note of for the Brockton Boxers that is something they desperately needed is not too many penalties today, if any. So Brockton not only playing good physical football, playing good mental football as well.
6, maybe 7 yards. And just to remind everyone, next week the Astros will be hosting the round of playoffs.
3rd and 4 situation for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. They have been moving the ball quite efficiently on this drive, and we've got a timeout called by your Brockton Boxers. So earlier this season, the Brockton Boxers defeated the Durfee Hilltoppers, which was their first step in securing themselves a spot in the playoffs, as all they really have to do is defeat the 2 other teams in the Big 3, that being Durfee, who I just mentioned they did earlier this season, and New Bedford, who they've got next week. And then it's playoff time. The Brockton Boxers looking forward to getting their hands dirty with teams such as Everett, who have been a rival in recent years, and Everett provided Brockton with one of the best games they've played last year. What many consider to be the best game in high school Super Bowl history, as the Brockton Boxers defeated Everett last season in the Division I MIAA Super Bowl. And Peter Colombo and company hope to repeat that same feat this season. 3rd and 3 situation for Pinkerton Academy, and it looks like they're unsure of what the play call was. Because they had to go back to the huddle and discuss things once again. Brian Ferris hands the ball over to Mazzola, and he is taken down hard. First by number 38 for the Brockton Boxers, Michael Murray, and then Johnny Ray Barnes was in there as well. Brockton Boxers like to play smash mouth football, and they're letting the fine folks of Derry, New Hampshire know that. Fourth down situation for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. They're going to go for it because, hey, why not? 4th and 7 situation. Farris back to pass. He was looking for Amador, incomplete. Trying to repeat the lone touchdown that Pinkerton Academy had early on in the game when Farris connected to Amador in the end zone. Corey Brown defending Amador. He was trying to repeat what he's done twice already in this game, and that's get an interception. However, incomplete pass. Brockton takes over on downs. And one thing that'll be interesting to see is that Pinkerton Academy is putting in some backups. Do you think Brockton will do the same with this 35-10 lead they've got at the moment? And it appears they will. Jesse Rosende taking a breather. And we've got a quarterback change for the Boxers as number 7, Vaughn Askew, will come into the game. Vaughn Askew got a few snaps a few weeks ago as he was trading snaps with, I believe, number 12, Corey Antunes. Askew gives the ball over to number 23, Lorenzo Cotton. So Brockton definitely allowing some of their second-string players to shine here in the fourth quarter in Derry, New Hampshire, as they have a 35-10 lead over the Pinkerton Academy Astros at the moment.
2nd down and 7 coming up for the Astros, number 88, David Gardner into the game. So both teams now changing their players.
Vaughn Askew taking another snap. 2nd and 7 for the Boxers. Askew, he's going to keep it, much like Jesse Resende. He's got a first down. Askew showing in the few times we've seen him that he is a Jesse Resende style quarterback. And as I said earlier, Jesse Resende, a very Michael Vick-like quarterback. He doesn't mind scrambling. When he's in trouble, he doesn't throw the ball away. He runs with it, and it's worked out for him as he has 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. One being that spectacular long rushing touchdown he had in the first half, and the other being quarterback keeper on the 1-yard line here in the second half. High formation for the Boxers, 1st and 10 situation. Askew gives the ball over to Cotton. Cotton doesn't get very far. Lorenzo Cotton, a player we don't get to see much of. He is a senior, 5'8", 165 pounds. Second and 10 for Brockton. Less than 4 minutes to play. Askew back the pass. He was hit as he threw the ball, and it was incomplete. Askew back to pass. He gets it over to number 80 for Brockton, that being Mike Carteret. Another senior that we don't see much of, 5'11", 165 pounds. Fourth and 4 for Brockton. Askew hands the ball off, and doesn't look like Brockton is going to get the first down. However, less than 3 minutes left to go. Doesn't seem to make much of a difference. Well, I've got the opportunity. We would like to congratulate the Brockton High School girls soccer team on an amazing season. They were eliminated from postseason play recently, but had a phenomenal season nonetheless. Brockton men's soccer team playing tonight at Brockton High. I'm sure you'll know the results by the time this airs. They had a great season as well. We hope that they make it on a postseason. They exceed in postseason play and continue their season and can bring home a championship. First and 10 situation for Pinkerton Academy. They give it over to number 49, Mike Krupe. So Krupe getting his time to shine here late in the fourth quarter for Pinkerton Academy, as he's getting many carries. You're not seeing much of players such as Steve Boyle and John Sugru anymore for Pinkerton Academy, and Brian Ferris, the quarterback, even taken out of the game as number 14, Ben Kritz, handling the play calling duties for the Ashes at the moment. This one given over to number 12, Peter Mazzola, and taken down by 4 or 5 slew of Boxer defenders.
Down to minute 15 left to go in the game. Third down and 8 coming up for the Astros. Lights get some play from the sideline.
And with Pinkerton Academy being the top-ranked team in New Hampshire high school football, Brockton being the top-ranked team in Massachusetts high school football, as we see right now, number 49, Mike Krupe, with the carry, not much. And with both teams here being top-ranked teams in their respective states, and Brockton on top 35-10 with about 30 seconds left to play, you have to question the opposition that Pinkerton Academy has played, and you might just say to yourself that the quality of football played in Division I high school football in Massachusetts slightly better than New Hampshire's. And 19.5 seconds left to go. Turnover on downs. Brockton takes over. All they have to do is nail it, and they will go home victorious.
Absolutely. We have the clock stop for a moment as Brockton gets possession of the ball with 20 seconds left to go. And thank you for watching this game. Sure has been an interesting while.
And Brockton breaking from the huddle momentarily. Taking the final snap for Brockton. It looks like they're sending Chris Lopes into the game, sophomore. He probably won't get much because it looks like Vaughn Askew will just kneel the ball and that will be it. And Askew does what we all suspect. The crowd starts making its way out here at Memorial Field, home of the Pinkerton Academy Astros, as your Brockton Boxers defeat the Pinkerton Academy Astros 35-10. And a spectacular performance all around by the Brockton Boxers, physically and mentally. Very few penalties. Excellent play by the Boxers defense despite some key injuries. I think I will have to give the Player of the Game award to number 84, Corey Brown, for the Brockton Boxers, for his 2 first-half interceptions that he brought back for 2 touchdowns. They really got things rolling for Brockton, and he will get the Brockton Community Access Player of the Game award. Once again, your final score, 35-10 in favor of the Brockton Boxers. Big game for Brockton before they head off to play New Bedford next week in their second divisional game of the season. That game determines whether Brockton will make it to the postseason or not. We'll be there bringing you all the action right here in Brockton Community Access. For Peter Zimbor and BCA from Derry, New Hampshire, have a good night, everyone.